So, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this situation because, unlike Mark Leda, I'm not here to just give you a horror show. Ooh, here's a serial killer. Look how disgusting he is. Now we'll move on to the next one. Just entertainment. So, we don't do that here. That's not the whole point of this channel, is to expose the fact that serial killers and people like that are abused children, and that there is actually a program to abuse children in order to make them into people like him and like me and like you. We've all been MK Ultra. Nobody wants to talk about that. We want to look at people who are the worst of the worst and blame everything on them and say that they're taken over by demons and Satan has possessed them and stuff. In fact, I will say that if you were raised the way he was, you might be a serial killer. If I was, I might be. What makes a serial killer? How come so many serial killers hate prostitutes and want to murder them? Could it be that so many serial killers had prostitute mothers? Prostitute mothers who provided awful childhoods for their sons? In many cases, they're Johns sexually abusing their sons. Prostitutes don't make great mothers. In general, most people don't make good parents because we're all MK Ultra and brainwashed. We feed our children plastic food. So we live in a society where people have no idea what up and down is. They hear something like this and they're like, "Oh, it's not my problem." You know, ask yourself, how come there were no black serial killers on that T-shirt he pulled out? You don't think there's any black serial killers? How come all the serial killers you've ever heard about were white? Could it be that just nobody cares about homeless, black, drug-addicted prostitutes? And it doesn't make good for TV movie because no one cares? You can't make the audience care like they do when Susie gets kidnapped by a good-looking, well-spoken stranger. See, they get a titillation from it. He's an employee of the gun industry. Yeah, he's doing more than selling guns. I'll tell you that. He's selling something else too. He's selling suicide. And while he's telling people to illegal carry and shoot down the ops, he has a legal carry, a pistol permit. And he goes to shows that are filled with cops, gun shows, private gun shows, filled with law enforcement people. He's one of them. You want me to tell on him to them? Let's talk about this whole Satanism thing. And people are talking about like fake Satanists. Someone said on my channel, Jeffrey Dahmer is a fake Satanist, a wannabe Satanist. If Jeffrey Dahmer is a wannabe Satanist, who's a real one? Who's a real Satanist? He was killing dogs and ripping them to shreds and turning them into evil art projects since he was a teenager. Is this guy a wannabe too? You think he's a wannabe? Satanism is a product. There was no Satanism 200, 300 years ago. They don't believe in Satan. They believe in control and power. And they use mind control, deeply disturbed people like this one to do it. People who had not a single positive role model in their entire life at all. And some people want to sit back and, oh, that's their culture. That's our culture. That's our culture. Ask yourself this. How come every American kid over the age of 9 or 10 years old knows what the symbol of Satanism is? Just as sure as they know that the cross is the symbol of Jesus, They know what the symbol of Satanism is, don't they? Doesn't every American adult know what the symbol of Satanism is? Because it's pumped to us through the videos and the movies. It's on our album covers, it's on our comic books, everywhere. You know where else it is? You know where else it is? It's in our nation's capital. Our nation's capital was built in this symbol. It's the same symbol that they carved into the corpse of the Black Dahlia when they murdered her and turned her body into a satanic sacrifice. Is it all fake? Is it all for entertainment? Is it all to sell products? Are they all crisis actors? Is that what you think? Nobody's really dying? Of course they've been raining down destruction and death and scientific oppression on the black community since the beginning of this country. Since the beginning of this country. And they use people like him because he has so much trauma from his childhood that all he feels is rage. They're showing you who they really are. How do you think I saw his video? How do you think I bumped into his video in the first place? Because YouTube recommended it to me. You know what's really weird about the fact that they recommended it to me? Is the fact that if you do a search on Charlotte serial killer, you'll find the same article 100 times over. All out, vehement denials from Charlotte PD that there is any Charlotte serial killer. So why would they be promoting a channel who is spreading that rumor? Why would they be promoting a channel that has all the things on it which I have already shown you? So, I am the bad guy. He's the good guy. They're hiring him to sell the products that this country is founded on and based on. Murder and death and guns. This guy's a real American hero. That's who he is. I mean, we actually live in a society where you have pedophile priests on the regular going to court. There's billions of dollars to get these guys off because it happens so much. Oh yeah, there's serial killers on your child's lunchbox, on your child's t-shirts and their comic books. Yeah, did you ever think about that? The Joker? What about Wolverine? Based on Project Phoenix, the serial killers that they unleashed in Vietnam. Did you know that all your child's idols and toys are serial killers too? They've been using serial killers to sell products to you, to sell murder and death to you the whole time. Nobody wants to admit that their life was a lie. My life was a lie, I can tell you that. My whole life was a lie. You know, I already told you I was like a little teenage hoodlum. But even beyond that, my whole life I was an artist. I thought art was important. Like I was going to change the world or something with my art. Stupid, egotistical lie that they sell to people like me to keep us engaged in the lie. But it is a lie. Art doesn't make the world better. Art makes the world worse. I can give you 100 million examples of art that cause people to do terrible things. Good art, at the very best, just makes you feel a little better about the misery and suffering. But real art like this is the art that moves the needle. This is the art that shifts the culture to when this can be put out by a huge channel talking about the things he does, and it's accepted because it's seen as the wave. This is the wave to get the bag. There's the bag right there. He got the bag. That's it. That's all that matters. Clout, fame, money. But that's not all that matters to the people that are programming these serial killers. Just like that's not all that matters to the people that are programming the school shooters. They think they're still trying to be Dylan. But that's not what it's about. That's not what this is about. It's not about Satan. It's got nothing to do with Satan. Satan is just a marketing product. Another fake religion. And when they're done with that, they'll make another fake religion. They got 1 million of them. At the end of the day, nobody cares. Nobody's going to stick their nose out for a bunch of black prostitutes, potentially, maybe, something that happened to them. Just because that guy is talking greasy on the internet. You would have to take some kind of long shot to get somebody who actually had some stake in it, that wanted to see some kind of justice. But there's always another prostitute. These guys are out on these trucking lines. I mean, he talks about what he does. He goes out as a trucker, but then he goes to pick up prostitutes. He gets them he rents a car. So this guy's smart. He's got plenty of money. He's got clout. He's got connections. There's absolutely nothing to stop him from getting away with anything he wants to do. Because as long as you know the right people, money talks. You just put the bag down and that's it. That's it. You think there's any morality in a society full of people that cover for someone like this? How many people do you think are covering for him, actually knowing what he and so many others have done? Look how many people cover for Dahmer. You want to talk about Dahmer as the evil one. Dahmer was mind controlled and tortured as a child. What about all the people that covered for him that weren't those things? Not only did they cover for him, they profited from it. Yeah, they profited from it. There is a limit. I mean, I'd be willing to look the other way for almost anything else. That's how low I am. That's how low we are. We only draw the line at serial killers and fucking pedophiles. Not even. Serial killers are clearly accepted, even though they're cowards who murder women by sneaking up on them. And pedophiles are now becoming accepted, even though they're even bigger cowards. That's what we live in. That's the country we live in. And you guys are still in Disneyland. People still want to live in Disneyland. They still want to turn off their TV at night, turn it on, watch the serial killer movie and turn it off. Disneyland. My whole family lives in Disneyland. They're just having a good old time. They're on vacation, man. They don't see the planet dying. They don't see the great extinction. They don't see serial killers, pedophiles, and all this shit running loose. They don't give a flying fuck. It's not their problem. They're in Disneyland. Yay. It's hilarious how much they hate me. Because I'm ruining Disneyland for them. I'm ruining it. Why don't you just shut up and be happy in Disneyland? Fuck Disneyland. And fuck Disney. Did you see this guy has a Disney shirt on? I didn't show you that. The original photo that this was taken from, this shirt, instead of being white, is a Disney Mickey Mouse shirt. People living in Disneyland. But you don't know what Disneyland really is. You don't know what's lurking in the corridors of Disneyland. You don't know who put Disneyland together and why. You just shut up and eat the cotton candy. This ain't that type of channel. Respect to anyone who has followed me through this whole ordeal, respect to anyone who can listen to me rant and not pull their hair out. that's a that's a very elite group of people right there. So I love y'all, and yeah, I guess I should just sign off now. Have anything else? Oh God, there's a whole. I didn't even go into the stuff about him. I don't even. Why even bother? Why even bother? I'm not a good person. I'm just trying to be a halfway decent person. That's that's the claim that I'm staking right here. It's the Great Plague.